Hello and welcome to another video where I take a look at new Pokemon coming out in Crown Tundra and look at their calculations, new moves, and discuss what is their optimal EV spread. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at most of the Ho and legendary Pokemon. And I'm saying most because while Regis, for example, is coming back, I did not see him fit to put in the calculations. After all, honestly, if I would say right now, the Regice's best set is probably going to be Iron Defense Body Press, which has been seen so many times before to the point I think you can make calculations on their own. While the other Regis, like I'm showing you one right now, Regirock, or Regice, have more potential to be better Dynamaxers, for example. Like really, it's something new that came up in this generation. I really want to focus on Dynamax calculations in these videos. And Regirock and Regice got 100 attack stat or 100 special attack stat, some good coverage moves, so they are able to make use of their stats, while Regis still is stuck on 75 special attack. What you gonna do with that? Flash can max Steel Spike? Well, First One can probably do that much better and bring more utility to the field and stall in late game. Just get the idea. With that being said, let's start by looking at Regirock. I'm really looking forward to showing you Latias and Latios though. But Regirock did not get any buffs, except for what you've been all probably waiting for, Body Press. Well, yeah, it got Body Press. Yes, it got Body Press, and that is so good. Like, I mean, Regirock is one of the few Pokemon that definitely deserve that, other than Stack Attacker, but we'll get to that a bit later. Yeah, the Regirock gets Body Press and will definitely be able to make use of that in a very major way. Unfortunately, we're going to get the calculations that are not anything amazing, but we're gonna get to the sets while we get to them. But it gets Body Press, so a lot of you can be happy right now. Regice did not get anything special. I mean, it's special attacker, you get it, that's the joke. But I got Icicle Spear again, bunch of physical moves that do not make much sense for it. I'm not sure if I got Thunder Punch before, but well, it's kinda useless. Again, like, Regice through the years used like one set. In Generation 3, I think it used like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Superpower for Tyranitar. Then in Generation 4, when the physical special split was introduced, they switched to Focus Blast basically. And that's basically what was Regice doing all the years, and it's probably not gonna make any change to that, except for like Flash Cannon. It can use pretty good max Steel Spike, but not coming from Stab, it's not gonna be way too powerful. And what do you want to counteract? Tyranitar? Well, Dream On. That thing gets weakness plus and it KOs you back. So just forget about that. Well, we just get the Registeel. It gets Body Press, so yeah, Iron Defense Body Press set can exist. You get some Thunderbolt, but again, coming from 75, base 75 special attack, these moves are gonna be ridiculously weak. Thunderbolt, Flash Cannon, all good moves, but need to be from like base 125 special attack. Maybe that's what we're gonna see in reglleki, but again, we do not know the stats of the both Regis, so we can only dream on, and that's what I do not want to do in these videos. I didn't want to dream, I just want to tell facts. Just a side note, when I was researching this document, I realized that they actually have learned it from Mega Latias as well, but severely limited. So as you can see here, it ends with TM81, but when we look at the Latias, normal Latias that is, we see a surprisingly good mix at the end. What is that? That is Mystical Fire on the both Latis. Finally, they got some other kind of type of coverage other than Hidden Power Fire for fire coverage. They got Mystical Fire, and that's humongous buff for them. After all, Hidden Power Fire was severely weakened in past 2 generations, so only 60 base power. Now this is 75 base power, some good stuff. It gets Air Slash as well, so if you want to go for Snowballs with max Airstreams, you can do that on, I think, both of the Pokemon. But other than that, I think the coverage moves are about the same. Oh yeah, they got Aura Sphere as well, but again, Tyranitar will just Dynamax and tank that effortlessly, and unfortunately you won't be able to take advantage of that. You got Dragon Dance as well. I think only Latios got it before, but you can go for Latias, Dragon Dance as well. But you probably know my opinion on that. Do not do that, please. That's pretty useless effort to do that. Again, we see the Mega Latias here, just having several limited moveset. Well, when we got Latios, yes, as I've said before, both of them got Mystical Fire and Air Slash, so good stuff for them, absolutely amazing. I'm not sure if Latios got helping him before, I think it was only Latias, but again, if you want support Pokemon, you will definitely go to Latias again, so it's not way too useful. And other moves are pretty much what you expect. Earth Sphere is probably going to be a bit more useful than Latios. Yeah, we got Dragon Dance, some physical moves. I think that's about it, really. The main point is Regirock getting Body Press, and both Latias getting Mystical Fire. That's very good for them. And now let's look at the EV spreads I'm prepared for you, which are going to be a bit disappointing at the look at Latias, that is. Because a bunch of these EV spreads are pretty basic. Let's get to Regirock. Fortunately for Regirock, it already takes all the stuff it needs in its Dynamax form. So it doesn't really need to do much else. Like, before we start talking about the set and stuff like that, to give you an example, 252's pretty much max special attack, Life Orb, Venusaur's max Vine Lash, G-Max Vine Lash, against non-Assault Vest Regirock would do about minimum of 75%. With the Assault Vest it does a minimum of 50% to 60%. So yeah, even if you would not have Assault Vest, like I would recommend you here, what else would you like to survive? This is like literally one of the most powerful moves, special attack moves that can be super effective, and you already take that so well. So unfortunately, when you see spread like this and you're looking at the... Well, let's look at the stats right now. We see that the attack stat is nothing phenomenal. It's only 100, so you really need all the power you can get, all the power you can muster. So yeah, that's my opinion on having Regirock EV spread. Really just want all the power in the world you can get. It gets Color Body or Sturdy, but in the age of so many teams, like, we're gonna get back to the age of Incineroar plus Landorus shifting right back out and in. And in the age of Parting Shot Incineroar, you are gonna really realize how much of a Color Body is a good ability. Because it completely blocks Parting Shot, the Incineroar just doesn't switch out, so you can do some nasty stuff like switch in from some slot into the slot which you think Incineroar is gonna Parting Shot, and you just block that switch and you can probably snipe it off with your ally and KO the Incineroar before it can even switch out. It's quite nasty actually, and this I think really Clear Body is the better ability on Regirock. Sturdy could do some nasty stuff as well, but honestly, just stick to Color Body. You just do not want to get intimidated with 100 attack stat. You could probably take that if you got like 150 attack stat, but that's not the reality we're facing right now. You probably definitely want like with any rock type Pokemon, you definitely want Rock Slide, Earthquake in our net. You could go for Curse. I mean, Curse could be interesting if you don't have Assault Vest, but honestly, just stick to this. Always stick to this kind of coverage on the rock type Pokemon, since rock and ground coverage already have such a good combination of pretty much hitting anything normally effectively. So it can be quite useful. Oh, and you want to have max steel spikes for the body press. Imagine just doing body presses with already such a high defense stat, and then you get some boost to defense stat. You're really gonna be powerful. These are gonna be mega powerful body presses. Even like without investment, you're already having more defense than max defense Furthon. That's just so ridiculous. And yeah, body press is pretty much illegal right now, but we've seen the movesets that it's gonna be available in Crown Tundra, so that's pretty useful. And now for the calculations. So apparently I started with defensive calculations today, so let's just continue doing that. Urshifu's close combat against Dynamax Regirock is not a guaranteed free hit KO. It's really that defensive after all. It's just 38% of 3 hit KO, which I found really funny. A max attack, Landorus's max quake. Landorus does not one shot, does not two shot even. Sorry, it's force of habit. Regirock is really that bulky, it does not guaranteed KO. 2 hit KO. Kartana's max overgrowth for max attack from this ginormous, huge 181 base attack with max investment is not 2 hit KO either. But with the grass drain it will set up, it will most likely KO back, so watch out for that. And as we have said before, Venusaur's Max Overgrowth or G-Max Mind Lash against Assault West Regirock is a 2-hit KO, unfortunately. But what can you do? It's really the best you can do. I would highly really not recommend investing heavily in a special defense, especially with the calculations I'm about to show you, because almost all of these calculations are literally KOing on a spot. Max Rock Fall into the Entei is guaranteed 1-hit KO. That's pretty good. Max Rock Fall into the Togekiss is also guaranteed 1-hit KO. None of these were Dynamax, by the way. Steel Spike into Tapu Lele is guaranteed KO as well, right? Max Quake into Tapu Koko. Again, a clean one-shot, great. Dynamax Cinderace, first Dynamax calculation of the day. Regirock will be able to KO that? Unfortunately, kind of yes, but also actually no. With a Life Orb Recall from Thundurus that's gonna outspeed you and Sandstorm chip damage, you should be theoretically able to KO Thundurus 75% of the time. And that's really what you want to get with Regirock. If you would not have max attack and you do not fulfill this one role, it actually does really well, because a lot of Thundurus are going to be physical right now. You really want to at least do this. Come on, this is just very important to have max attack just because of this calculation. And for some fun stuff, I included some body press calculations. I'm gonna go really quickly over them. If you want to have more defense for this Regirock, I would probably say do so, but I chose this because one important calculation, and that is Urshifu Single Strike. The Dark type Urshifu gets one-shotted by the body press. Incineroar's does not get one-shotted, but if you want to invest more into the defense here to just KO the Incineroar with more defense, I would not recommend so, because a lot of Incineroars are going to go over more the defensive side because of the Metagross doing just magical stuff with the weakness plus the set, and you want to probably take that attack as well as you can. So even if you would heavily invest in the defense, you probably not get additional KOs on many Incineroars. Dynamax Tyranitar doesn't get one-shotted. Again, even with max defense, you would not be able to do this. Heatran, 4 HP Heatran, you do one-shot, but not 152 HP Heatran, which is going to be much more popular. And Eviolite Porygon 2 just gets to it out casually, cast aside, as would Pokemon Stadium one commentator would say. So yeah, these are some fun body press calculations. And yes, Choice Band boosts body press's power, because it's a physical attack. Body press is a physical attack, and Choice Band boosts the power of physical attacks by 50%. So that's the effect right there. It is actually compatible with body press. Now let's go over to Regice. Now again, Cloud Body. Why Cloud Body, you might be saying? Well, first off, Ice Body is in Dynamax is a horrible ability. If it healed 1/16 of the Dynamax, I would probably say, okay, feel free to do this, but 1/32nd of a... That's not right. Sorry for my poor English here, but really, you get the idea. It's very low HP recovery. And if with Cloud Body, you're going to be able to resist all the Snarl spam coming out of Suicune, for example. And you do not even outspeed Incineroar, which could be otherwise being able to parting shot you out of here. And you'll be really weak, because again, like with Regirock, you only have 100 special attacks, so you have to cherish every single point you get. But on the other note, why this specific defense investment? Well, but this defense investment, you actually take G-Max Fireball from Life Orb Cinderace 93% of the time. With Life Orb Recall, not so well, but you will at least get the one attack off that could be difference between loss and a win. So I think this is pretty important to survive that, and this EV spread allows you to do so, while keeping the advantage of having 2 extra points here, because of you get the breakpoint on a boosting nature when it's multiple of 10. Max Rockfall for max attack Tyranitar Adamant does not even come close to one-shotting, which I was really surprised by, because I mean, at the same time, I'm not really surprised by it, because you're first off Dynamaxed, and you got actually pretty respectable defense. It's not 50 defense like maybe the other Regis will get later in the Crown Tundra expansion, but this is 100 defense, so it's pretty cool to have this much defense. Close Combat from Urshifu, Choice Band, actually doesn't one-shot you because of this investment. It would not one-shot you even with 152 HP, but yeah, well, this is pretty good. Max Flare from Heatran. I'm not sure if it's 2-hit KO or not, but without Sun it's a 3-hit KO. Again, the special defense, high special defense again, pulling through right here. And Flare Blitz into Dynamax Regice from Incineroar for the attack Incineroar. Does not 2-hit KO you, which I'm again surprised by, because I thought this was quite a clean 2-hit KO, but it's not even a clean 3-hit KO, kind of. I mean it is, but it's not a clean... Get the idea. I would lose myself in the words here. So some Dynamax calculations. Max Hellstorm into Assault West Dynamax Landorus Tyrion with only 4 HP is a guaranteed KO, but I would probably expect a lot of these Assault West Landorus to have a lot more HP or special defense. I've seen some people on VGC chat already posting like 124 HP, 84 special defense, which is a chance probably to one-shot with hail damage especially, but it's not 100% of the time, and it's not like Regice can do much more with his special attack. It's really as much of a chance to KO it as possible. Max Sliding into Tapu Fini is a clean 2-hit KO, and you will set up Electric Drain. Unless they Dynamax, they won't remove the Electric Drain as well, so it's quite cool to have this calculation. Life Orb Regice Focus Blast against Tyranitar in Sand. Focus Blast, not Max Knuckle. Max Knuckle is actually weaker than Focus Blast. That Focus Blast from a Regice actually one-shots Tyranitar in Sand. Not the Dynamax one though, so watch out. And Tyranitar actually outspeeds you as well, so they will probably be able to KO you before you can do anything. But that's the life of Ice types. They really do not have too many resistances. Spoiler alert, they only resist Ice, that being themselves. Dynamax Thunderous actually gets one-shotted with Life Orb Max Hailstorm, which is good, again, because that thing will probably do a lot of damage to you with Max Knuckle from Life Orb, and possibly can snowball out of the position with Max Airstreams from Fly, so you'd really want to KO that thing as soon as possible. And Max Hailstorm into the Dynamax Venusaur, actually with hail damage and their Life Orb recall is 87% of the time you're gonna one-shot that. And I think that's really cool and important calculation to hit. So do not invest much more in defense, because this calculation is very, very cool. Now, that's probably it for Regice. Let's go into Latias. I was very excited to make Latias work again. I mean, did I make it work again? Actually, I remember at the regionals I was running some kind of Calm Mind Psychic type. It was actually Cresselia, but we're gonna probably get to Cresselia in next video. And I really feel already, before I even start making a video about it, I'm gonna say Latias is just better Cresselia. It's gonna exert just so much more offensive pressure. Unlike Cresselia, which has just very small special attack and most of the time needs +2 special attack. Latias gets always all the knockout it needs with only +1 special attack, which is huge. Now, before I start talking about the set, I'm gonna also recommend you try and recover or roost in the last move slot, because it possibly can win some late games for you, unlike Mystical Fire, which really cannot. Alright, so do I want to start offensive or defensive? Let's start with offensive calculations. With a +1 special attack, Max Wormwind actually one-shots Landorus Tyrion form. In non-Dynamax form, a Choice Scarf with Landorus Tyrion as well, but it one-shots it, so that's pretty cool. +1 special attack, Max Wormwind into Incineroar. Even a Max special defense Incineroar, which no one will run right now, is a clean 2-hit KO. And of course, because you lowered the attack stat, you're gonna take that hit very, very well back. +1 Max Mindstorm into Max Special Defense Amoonguss is a clean one-shot. Again, fantastic, barely on the spot cat stat, with 100 special attack. Max Mindstorm into Tapu Koko, clean one-shot. Max Wormwind into Dynamax Ragapult, pretty huge hit to range to get, is a clean one-shot as well, with +1 special attack. Max Mindstorm into Togekiss. Dynamax Togekiss is not a guaranteed 3-hit KO, unfortunately, but Togekiss will probably just push through you with a critical hit special Max Starfalls. Unfortunately, that's a horrible matchup for you. And I sincerely hope you will never get into that matchup, because that is just... yeah. Critting through boosts is just a very balanced mechanic, Game Freak. Now, when we get this Dynamax Cinderace, we again cleanly 2-hit KO it. Tapu Fini, the standard Tapu Fini which was run in past years, I'm not sure what will Tapu Fini run. in current years. I actually calculated in the future though, I calculate more so ever a defensive set, but here's the deal. So if they run more special defense, I think they're going to stop at this range again. I would probably have to tell you many spoilers in the Tapu Fini calculations to make you understand this, but trust me, this calculation shows it is a clean to hit KO, so trust me, it's a clean to hit KO and it's good enough. Into Urshifu. Urshifu can do nasty stuff to Latias, especially with Choice Band set, but luckily you outspeed it with a timid nature and you clean them on a hit KO with. Max Mindstorm into Dynamax Venusaur. Now, you do not one-shot Venusaur here, which is kind of disappointing. One of the few Pokemon you actually kind of want to KO before it can do a lot of bad stuff. But the item on Latias is actually surprisingly flexible. That being said, you can run Soldew. If it's going to be released in the generation, actually, we're gonna see. To get the additional one-shot on the Venusaur. If really Venusaur troubles you, run Expert Belt or run Soldew to get the additional one-shot on a Venusaur, because you do not get a clean one-shot right now, even with Life Orb Recall on it. I just wanted to say, Max Tournament one-shot Dracoish even without a boost, so that's pretty cool. And now, to some Mystic Fire calculations, I actually made them literally before this video, but +1 Max Flare into Cortana, even Assault Vest Cortana is a guaranteed one-shot. And this is probably going to be the most popular Assault Vest Dynamax Cortana set. And you outspeed Cortana because you want base 110 and Cortana is only base 109. So that's very cool. You do not want your Assault Vest Rillaboom with Max Flare, but if you set up a Sun, you're going to be barely able to KO it in one hit. And same applies for Excadrill. Excadrill does not get one-shotted by Max Flare, but if you set up Sun before, you should be able to one-shot it, but watch out, most of the Excadrills run Focus Sash, so it's going to be kind of ignored actually. Oh well. So let's go over some defensive calculations on the Latias. So with this special defense investment, I mean the HP investment, a modest Moonblast from Tapu Lele is a clean free hit KO. I mean not a clean, it's 1.2% to do it KO, but that's impossible to hit range at real tournament setting, really. Max Darkness from Tyranitar is pretty far away from one-shotting you, but it's at the same time, it's pretty close. You get the idea of what I'm trying to say here. It's not a one-shot, and that's important because Tyranitar is natural counteraction to Latias, really. Max Phantasm from Life Orb Dragapult. This one is very important. Max Phantasm from Dragapult does not one-shot you, or Max Dragon does not one-shot you, and you can one-shot back if you got +1 special attack, so that's very cool. You definitely want to keep this investment just so you survive this hit. This is pretty important. Max Starform from Tapu Koko is a clean to hit KO, but you can set up, if you setting up a Calm Mind already, it's a free hit KO, pretty clean one as well. Libero Life Orb Max Darkness from Cinderace, that being Sucker Punch, is not a one-shot, that is again important, is a 2-hit KO, that's good enough. Because really Dark types really are a pain for Latias and Latios in general to deal with, since basically generation free. Generation free not so much, because the Dark type moves were special, but you get the idea. Moonblast Tapu Fini against +1 Latias that is not Dynamaxed, does only this much damage, so keep that in mind. You can pretty much safely set up Calm Mind next to Tapu Fini, and then go for the cool calculations. Urshifu's Wicked Blow, on a critical hit, is not a one-shot, but with Choice Band, it gets pretty close to one-shotting, so watch out for that. I should have probably calculated that with Choice Band, but if I had to say, right now, it's like 62% one-shot Latias, so watch out for that if they get Choice Band, and they get, for example, Tailwind support. And Max Starfall in from Togekiss is not, if it crits, it does not one-shot, so that's pretty cool, but you're not gonna be doing much to the back. So that is Latias. Now let's get into Latios. Latios is, I feel you should be more aggressive with Latios other than more than with Latias. Latias is really the defensive behemoth. Now Latios, you just want to go for quick Life Orb calculations and just kill as much stuff as possible. So let's show some good offensive calculations. You got so many options again on Latios. You got even the Mystical Fire. You can run like YOLO non-protect set, which would be kind of my style, but that's that. Latios. Max Gazier into the common Incineroar that survives Max Quake from Venusaur 100% of the time. is 81% one-shot. That's pretty cool, because you technically are doing the same thing, right? Non-stab, more than 30 base per max move with life orb boost, but unfortunately for the Incineroar, this Pokemon has 30 more base special attack, so it pretty much gets the almost clean one-shot here. Max Mindstorm into Venusaur is not a guaranteed KO, but with Life Orb Recall, it should be pretty much a KO. So, one last note I want to make here, before I go on to more calculations. Life Orb Latios has a... If you want to compare some calculations between Latias that I shown you and Latios that I shown you, right, I'm showing you right now. Latios does about 5% more damage than Latias does, from my experience at least. It really does a bit more damage, but not so much bit more damage. So you can use that as a cheat sheet to get some calculations for Latias out of Latios I'm going to show you right now. Dynamax Tyranitar from Latios takes no damage whatsoever. What a surprise. But you actually put yourself in not one-shot range because you lowered Tyranitar's attack stat, so that's kind of funny. Max Mindstorm into Tapu Koko is a guaranteed KO. Max Rudiment into Landorus Tyrion form is a guaranteed KO. Max Gazer into Stakataka is guaranteed 1-hit KO, so that's pretty cool calculation right here. Stakataka, I don't even expect it coming, because really, I mean, you can have every sphere on Latios, I've shown you at the start of the video, but I think this is pretty cool calculation nevertheless. Max Mindstorm one-shots Amogus. Max Gazer gets dangerously close to get 1-hit KOing Heatran actually. But again, somewhat so close, but yet so far. It's only 62% one-shot, which is pretty bad chance to one-shot, unfortunately. But we're gonna set up Rain, and Heatran is pretty much not gonna do anything that turn because of that. So you're at least doing some kind of good thing against the Heatran this way. Latios' Max Mindstorm against Nihilego is a clean one-shot. Max Flare against Excadrill is not a, again, if you got Sun, you're probably gonna be KOing even a more bulky Excadrill. And Max Flare in the Court of the Night, actually, I'm not sure what's common Court of the Night spread will be, but I've seen a lot of offensive Court of the Nights lately with a lot of speed, so this is moderately specially bulky Court of the Night, and you still one-shot it pretty cleanly, so that's pretty cool. And that's what I wanted to show you. And now about the defensive attacks. I did not want to go more on here. So basically, if I would, for example, guess, I did not calculate, but Tapu Lele's Moonblast is a clean 2-hit KO because of the lower special attack and no defensive investment. But nevertheless, let's get into the calculations I actually calculated. Tyranitar's Max Darkness into Dynamax Latios is not a one-shot if it's -1 attack. If it's normal stage of attack, it's probably, I would say, 81% one-shot. So watch out for that. Incineroar's Throat Chop into Dynamax Latios is a guaranteed 4-hit KO, so Latias will take that even better. So maybe it will be 5-hit KO if you're lucky. Urshifu's Wicked Blow against Latios on a critical hit is not a one-shot, but Choice Band gets a guaranteed 1-hit KO, so watch out for that. And Max Starfall on a critical hit against Latios from a timid Togekiss is getting pretty dangerously close to one-shotting, but if they got Modest and more special attack, like 188 special attack EVs, they're probably gonna one-shot you on the spot. If they get a critical hit, that is, but that's pretty rare at least. And now for the last calculations of today's video, this calculation. Libero Sunrays Max Darkness with Life Orb against 100 defense Latios. Latios actually takes the attack, but it removes so many special attack EVs and puts them in the defense to the point I don't think it manages to have this calculation ready to go. Also, Life Orb damage will probably finish you off anyway, so it's kind of dangerous to do this, but I thought this was interesting calculation nevertheless. Alright, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. I'm actually going to see 29 minutes, wow, alrighty. So hopefully you'll learn something new about Crown Tundra today, and I'll catch you next time. So have a nice day, and I'll catch you next time.